Hello and welcome again to another mathematics tutorial. Today we are going to look at graphs. So today we're going to see how can we represent equations uh, using graphs. Okay. So here is an example of a graph. Okay, this is just my drawing, and you will find there are two axes. Okay, one axis is the y-axis. The y-axis is a vertical axis. The x-axis, right, is a horizontal axis. So they all intersect at this point where this is 0. All right, at 0. And you will find if we look at the x-axis, for instance, the horizontal axis, it starts at 1 on this side, on the right side, and then it continues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's the positive, right? So that's x positive, or positive x value on this side. This side will be negative, so it's negative x. So we start at negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and continue. On the y-axis, right, this, the top part of the y-axis, right, this is positive, that's positive y. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's positive. Below here is negative, so you have negative y. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, now we have some simple equations here that we want to represent graphically. Okay, so we have y is equal to 2. Okay, now according to the graph, right, how do we find the 2 in the y-axis? Well, this is the y-axis here on the positive side. That's positive 2. That's 1 and that's 2. Okay, so 2 is right here. Okay, so what do? We draw a line through the y-axis across the 2, like that. Okay, so the equation of this line is y is equal to 2. Okay, so we have another one. Now y is equal to minus 3. Alright, minus 3 on the x-axis is located there. That's minus 3. So we draw a line through that. Through this one, it goes across to minus 3. So that's y is equal to minus 3. We have another one. X is equal to 2. This is the x-axis. That's the 2. So we draw a vertical line. Okay, that goes down like this, and it cuts the x-axis at positive 2, because that is what we want. Another one, x is equal to minus 3. We find the minus 3 on the x-axis, which is located here, and we draw a line down. Okay. Okay. Now, sometimes you will find that an equation would have a greater than or less than sign. We covered inequalities before. Greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. And we wonder how do we represent that on the graph. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so this one says x is greater than 1. Okay, now we can treat it to say that, okay, x is equal to 1. Alright, to make it a little bit simpler for you, to say x is equal to 1 is right here, but we know it's greater. But let's find where x is 1 on the x-axis, which is right here. So we can draw a line there, but because it's greater than, we will draw like a dash line, right? Now, if it was greater than and equal to or less than equal to, then we can draw a solid line. But we can draw a dash line. A dash line. So that is x is greater than 1. So that means any value greater than 1, okay, so it's this direction. Okay? It's moving in this direction. So that's the line. X is less than 1, alright, it will be the same line, but it will be in this direction. The value, right, would be going in this direction instead. If we are talking about it as being greater than or equal to 1, right, we come back to the positive 1 here, but instead we draw a straight line. Okay, straight line like this. It's no longer the dashed line, okay, but it's a solid line. Alright, and this will change to greater than. X is greater than and equal to 1. Okay, and similar on this side, x is less than equal to 1. Alright, so x is if it is less than equal to 1, it will be the same line, okay, but the arrow is pointing in this direction, okay, but it's a bold line, okay. Okay, now we have a value here, an equation here that equals both the x and the y. You have both inequality there. To solve that, we can take the less than and treat it like an equal. So if it says y is equal to x plus 1, right? Then we can say, well, if then what we can do, we can take this value as a positive 1 as being the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept, right, is the value that the line cuts through the y-axis. That's the y-intercept. So it's telling us it's a positive 1. So on the positive 1, the 1 is right here. So we know the line is going to go across the y-axis. It's going to intercept the y-axis at positive 1. So all we have to do is to find the value of x. Okay, we're going to find the value of we're going to find the value of x. Okay, now we're saying that if we can say if y, say for instance y is 2, alright, then x is equal to 1. See, if y is 2, x is 1 because 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have another point. We have another point here. Okay? It said x is 1. It's 1 here. Y is 2. So the point is going to be here. The point is right there. Okay? So what we can do is that we can draw a line. Draw a line like that. Okay? And so the equation of this line is y is less than x plus 1, and of course if it is less than, it's pointing in this direction. Alright, and if it's less than, obviously it's going to be like dash line. Okay, it's like dash lines, you know, because it's less than, it's not less than unequal to. So that is the equation of this line. Okay, now we have another one here. 3x minus 2y is equal to 12. So we want to be able to plot this one. Okay, to plot this one, we need to find values for x and y. Okay, now if x is 0, say for instance we have x, y, right, so if we say x is 0, alright, that means you will have 2y, you're going to have 2 minus 2y is equal to 12. Alright, so divide both sides by minus 2 divided by minus 2. Okay, so you're going to have y, okay, is equal to minus 6. Okay, y is equal to minus 6 because minus 2 multiplied by minus 6 is 12. So therefore, if x is 0, then y is minus 6. Okay, and if y is 0, right, then we have this becomes nothing. Then you have 3x is equal to 12. So x is equal to 4. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. So if so we're saying that if y is 0, then x is 4. So we have 2 points here that we can work with. Okay, so 0 and 6. So we have x is 0 and y is minus 6. So minus 6 is here. Okay, minus 6 is there. That's 1 point. Okay, the other point we have there is 4, and y is 0. Okay, so we just draw this line. Okay, so it cuts the x-axis at positive 4. It cuts the y-axis as minus 6. Okay, so that is so the equation of this line. So 3x minus 2y is equal to 12. Okay, so that is how we plot that one. Okay. Okay, suppose we have quadratic equations now to represent that one on the line. Say for instance, we have an equation like this: y is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 3. Now, when we have something like this, right, as a quadratic equation, right, you know it's quadratic because there's an x squared. Okay. We want to find what is known as the vertex. The vertex is, if you're having a graph, and it may shape like this. Okay, the result of it may shape like this. The vertex is this value here, just at the bottom here. Right? What is that value? What's that x value? As that point here. So to find the vertex, V-E-R-T-E-X, the formula is x is equal to minus b divided by 2a. Okay, so this is the a, that's the b value. All right. So to find that, so therefore x, according to that, it would be so we see that b is 2, right, and a is 1, right? So to find this, we just say minus 2, okay, divided by 2, and that is by 1. Okay. So that is how we find it, and then obviously this is minus 2 divided by 2, right, is equal to minus 1. Okay, so it is telling us that this curve, right, the vertex is minus 1. So to find this minus 1, right, the minus 1 is here. Okay, it's telling us that the minus 1 is somewhere here. Okay, and well, okay, yeah, the minus 1 is there. Okay, so the x value of minus 1 is here. Okay, that's the minus 1 that we're looking at. That minus 1. So it is somewhere along the minus 1, that this vertex. So the vertex is somewhere along, it could be along here, we don't know, but it's supposed to be somewhere just along the minus 1. Okay, it could be any point there, just over the minus 1. We still don't know, we still need to work out the rest of it. Okay, so so what do? We need to plot, we need to pick 5 points. Okay, so we know that the center point, right, of this equation is minus 1. So we need to pick 5 points. Okay, so 5 points we want to pick. So we have the value of x and y. Okay, so we need to find 5 points. All right, and so let's say for x, we're trying to find a value of y if x is minus 3, if x is minus 2, if x is minus 1, right, if x is 0, right, or if x is 1. Okay, so we want to know what's the value of y. Alright, so we put these values into this equation there. Okay, that means we substitute the values of x into this equation there. Alright, so for us to find out. So if we're looking at, say, x, if we start with, say, minus 1, okay, then this x becomes the the minus 1 squared, okay, plus 2 multiplied by minus 1, yeah, okay, and then we plus 3, right, equal y. Okay, so minus 1 squared is minus 1 multiplied by minus, that's equal 1, okay, plus, if you're going to plus 2 multiplied by minus 1, that becomes minus 2. Okay, so it's going to be minus 2, right, plus 3. Okay, so 1 minus 2 is minus 1, minus 1 and plus 3 gives us 2. Okay, so we know that if x is minus 1, then y is 2. Okay, so if x, say for instance x is 1, oh, so okay, let's say x is 0. If x is 0, then obviously 0 squared is nothing, plus 2 multiplied by 0, obviously it's nothing, plus 3, okay, that gives us a 3. Okay, so we know x is 0, y is 3. Okay, let's say if we're trying to find a value if x is 1, okay, so we have 1 squared plus 2 by 1 plus 3, right? That means if x is 1, alright, so x, so 1 squared is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, so we know this is 6. So if we know right, the values like this, okay, then we can say, well, this will also be 3 and this will also be 6. Right, you have 2, you have 3 and 6. This could be a 3 and this could be a 6. So let's show it. Minus, say minus 2 squared, right, plus 2 multiplied by minus 2 plus 3. Okay, so this becomes 4, right, minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 is 4, right, plus 2 multiplied by minus 2 becomes minus 4, right, and plus 3. So 4 minus 4 is 0, and you get the 3. You get the 3 here. Alright? And likewise with minus 3, you're going to get 6. Right? Minus 3 squared plus 2 multiplied by minus 3 plus 3. Okay? This is 9. Right? Minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 is minus 6. So you're left with 3. So you're left with the 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. And that's 6 here. Okay, so now we have all these values here, and we would like to plot it on the graph. Okay, so x, this is x is minus 3 is down here, right here. This is right there. And y is 6 is here. Okay, so we plot that one. That's our first point. Okay, x is negative 2, which is there. Y is positive 3, so it's just right here. Okay, x is minus 1, which is there. And y is 2, which is right here. Okay, x is 0, right? But y is 3. which is right there. Okay, the other one, x is 1, y 6, which is up here. Okay, so we have this this U-shaped curve. We have this U-shaped curve, all right, and we can confirm the vertex, right, which is in the middle of the graph. Okay, it's like a vertical line that tries to cut into the graph, and it tries to be equal. On both sides. The vertex, and we said the vertex was -1. Okay, and that's where the -1 is here. Right? Weren't sure where it's actually going to be. We know it was just above the -1. So that is the vertex here. That what we got. All right, and so that proves that the vertex is -1. That's the lowest point. Okay, and this is like the axis of symmetry. Okay. So we leave it there for now. We will continue graphs again in our next session. Thank you. Goodbye.